this time, we're going to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a request to withdraw specific items from the consent agenda? Yeah, all right. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, consensus items be approved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
This is the approximate position and time that the board has designated to receive statements from individuals and groups. The board will review all statements, then respond appropriately at a future meeting. All persons in attendance are required to sign the attendance sheet and designate the representation status. For example, parent, teacher, bus driver, chamber of commerce, etc. There is a 2-minute time limit. Anybody? Yes.
Can you press that button till the green light comes on?
Sure. There we go. Hi. My name is Ray Batt. I'm a parent to 2 boys that are starting in the districts that they're this year. And I just want to introduce myself. First of all, how are you? I am here just to express my concern for the mask mandate that's coming. I noticed we started with the pledge, and liberty and justice for all is one of the things that we just pledged allegiance to with the flag. And my concern is that parents aren't being given any kind of choice in this. I watched a lot of, I don't know if any of you watched videos from the Orchard Park School Board meeting yesterday. There were a lot of parents who expressed a lot of concern for this, their child being masked, when there is very little scientific evidence that supports that they should be. And the response that I've seen from most of the school boards and superintendents is that if the state mandates it or Mark Poloncarz mandates it, we just have to follow along. And my question is when they give these mandates, do you guys ask for evidence, scientific evidence to support them? And will you be providing it to the parents as the reason for why our children have to wear masks in school? So that's my one main concern. And that's all I have to say. And how are you, Cheryl? Good.
Thank you. Is there anybody else?
I'd like to follow that up first by answering his question about the evidence. There is none. There is no scientific
Sir, can you
evidence.
please give your name, please?
My name's Dan Maloney, parent of a student here at Eden, and you'll be dealing with me for a long time. He's only going into 3rd grade. I'm going to be here a long time. Now, there is zero evidence for children to wear masks. Zero scientific evidence. Did you know that since COVID began, Children's Hospital has dealt with 200 children as COVID patients? They've admitted that 75% of those were not there because of COVID. They were there with COVID. 800 children die a year from drowning. Are you going to require our kids wear a life preserver to school next? 400 children have died with COVID, not from COVID. There is no scientific evidence. We have employed in New York State 7,430 contact tracers whose sole job all day, every day, is to trace the sources of COVID infection in New York State. Have you seen a single report from any one of those 7,430 people that traces a COVID outbreak in a community to a school, in a family? I drive through Eden, I don't see empty houses where entire families have died because their child contacted COVID in school, brought it home, and everybody died. It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. It's fear-mongering. There is no scientific evidence. There are no empty houses because families have died from COVID that their children brought home from school. It doesn't happen. There is no evidence of any child bringing COVID home from school. 7,430 contact tracers and not one report of a single incident anywhere in New York State of a child bringing COVID home. That's their job all day, every day. 7,430 people to determine where this COVID is coming from, where it is spreading, and where it is going. Not one single report of a child in a school anywhere in New York State bringing COVID home to his family.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Going on to new business. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation of teacher aide Rihanna Chrisman be accepted effective August 9th, 2021. The board and administration wish to thank Mrs. Chrisman for her 3 years of service to the district.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation of teacher aide Joanna Cerrone be accepted effective August 11th, 2021.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation of school nurse Jordan Edwards be accepted effective August 2nd, 2021. The board and administration wish to thank Mrs. Edwards for her service to the district.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation of kindergarten teacher and science instructional leader Jennifer Wolf be accepted effective August 31st, 2021. The board and administration wish to thank Mrs. Wolf for her service to the district.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
Okay, new business appointments. We can just go to B. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Lisa Postel be appointed on probation as a senior clerk typist effective August 30th, 2021, and ending February 28th, 2022. Salary is based upon CSEA contract level 6, step 5.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, effective September 1st, 2021, Patricia Hartman be provisionally appointed as a clerk typist 10-month position, pending on the results and canvass of the list when established. Salary is based upon CSEA contract level 5, step 1.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Corinne Gaskins be appointed on probation as a teacher aide effective September 1st, 2021 and ending February 28th, 2022. Salary is based upon CSEA contract level 4, step 1.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Allison Keller be appointed on probation as a teacher aide effective September 1st, 2021 and ending February 28th, 2022. Salary is based upon CSEA contract level 4, step 1.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Joshua Bugenhagen be permanently appointed as a bus mechanic effective August 16th, 2021.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That Cheryl Carpenter be appointed as the board representative to the middle school shared decision-making team, and Alan Silver be appointed as the board representative to the GLP shared decision-making team for the 2021-2022 school year.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Amanda Shamara be appointed on probation as a teacher aide effective September 1st, 2021 and ending February 28th, 2022.
Second.
Salary is based upon CSEA contract level 4, step 1.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, effective September 1st, 2021, Amanda Pechichinsky be provisionally appointed as a clerk typist, pending on the results and canvass of the list when established. Salary is based upon CSEA contract level 5, step 1.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
Is Amanda here? Hi, Amanda. Congratulations. And I'm sure I didn't say your name correctly, but close enough. Okay. Sorry about that. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, David Russo be appointed on probation as a school monitor effective September 1st, 2021 and ending February 28th, 2022. Salary is based upon CSEA contract level 2, step 1.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approximately 60 IRLA manuals from American Reading be declared accessed and disposed of as the district deems appropriate. An updated addition to all K-5 classroom and special education teachers will be provided by the company.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation of teacher aide Natalie Eggleston be rescinded effective August 11th, 2021.
Second.
Interesting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby authorizes the transfer of the 2020-2021 unassigned fund balance in the following reserves: Workmen's Compensation Reserve, $250,000. Retirement contribution, $281,230. TRS Subfund Retirement Contribution, $198,740. Employee accrued liability benefits, $254,645. Capital building, $500,000. Capital technology, $400,000. Capital vehicles equipment, $750,000.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education hereby reestablish and authorizes the transfer of the 2020-2021 unassigned fund balance into the tax certiorari reserve in the amount of $42,797.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'd like to inform the board this is for specific requests to the local town assessors. This is the cost of what companies are requesting to have their assessments lowered that they filed a legal claim in the court system for, which we could wind up paying. So therefore, we put it in the reserve so that it doesn't negatively impact the school year.
Okay. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
Business report.
I just wanted to inform the board, we have started our annual external audit, and we expect the field work, which is the portion that started on Monday, to conclude by the end of next week.
All right. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. First, I want to acknowledge and extend a thank you to the two gentlemen who spoke this evening, along with those folks who came here to support them. I also want to acknowledge and thank the numerous people who've contacted me directly over the last several weeks and months. I understand, the board understands, our teachers and administrators understand that our families want, need, and deserve communication about what school will look like in a few weeks. We have certainly reviewed the CDC guidelines, the State Education Department guidelines, the American Pediatric Association guidelines, and listened to our community members. I do expect that the Erie County Department of Health will publish return to school information hopefully as soon as this week. In addition, our current Lieutenant Governor Hochul is scheduled to be sworn in as governor early next week. She's been on record as favoring mask mandates for school. You may have seen that in this evening's news. It would be improper for our team to publish our return plan before the county or even the incoming governor publishes their guidelines and mandates, if any are to be forthcoming. What I do know is there's virtually universal support for returning students to full 5-day per week in-person instruction. Schools may not look perfect to each student or family member. There likely will be components of schools that some people wished looked differently, and that happens every year prior to a pandemic, and I'm sure post-pandemic as well. I acknowledge that and understand there are strong differences of opinion about certain return protocols should they come into play. I will also acknowledge and in fact celebrate the school district's prime responsibility is to educate students. It appears that we will be able to do that this year. Full 5-day week in-person instruction. A year ago, that was a dream. Today it's very close to being a reality. We are also responsible for the health and safety of students and staff. That is not new. We've always had responsibility when it comes to children's health, safety, and welfare. To that end, we will be partnering with Erie County for a voluntary in-district testing program. I presented some information on this at our last meeting, and that information has actually been updated and is significantly better than what I knew at that time. The program is at no cost to families or the district and should serve as a layer of protection and mitigation for the virus. You hear a lot about numerous mitigation strategies. This is one, and again, it's voluntary. I do appreciate everyone's passion and patience as we move forward. And just to reiterate a little bit about our previous testing program, which we were required to have children in school last school year, about 34% of our students, and that's GLP, Eden Elementary, middle school, high school, did participate in that testing program. 83% of our staff members did. This new program has a couple of different options to it. They'll be able to do surveillance testing, again, voluntary non-invasive tests. They can do proximal testing, and what that means is if there is a positive case in a classroom, they can test those volunteers in that area. And this is beneficial because it could reduce the number of students who need to quarantine if and when we do have a positive COVID case. More information about that will be forthcoming. Again, no cost to the individual, no cost to the district, completely voluntary, but I think that will work in our favor as yet another layer of mitigation strategies. Okay. Any questions from the board? Okay. Thank you.
Board report roundtable.
I don't have anything.
Nothing. All right.
Quiet summer.
Okay, so the next regular Board of Education meeting is Wednesday, September 15th, 2021 at 7 p.m. in the Eden Elementary School Auditorium. And now executive session. We'll just go to B, please. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education enter executive session to discuss the employment history of a particular person.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? We are entering executive session. Motion carried.
That concludes the public portion of the meeting. If either of you gentlemen want to leave your contact information, I will be in contact with you and probably early next week. I know you had some specific questions, but since we're in executive session, I have to be careful about what I say here. hearing from the public is not a discourse. It's not a back and forth. It's you share your information, and if you want some feedback, then just make sure we have your name and number in the back. Okay. Okay. Thanks, folks.